So you know how you always see some of the same items in every thrift store, you know, lamps and crock pots, tins, books, just to name a few. Well, in today's video, I'm actually going to shop for those items and try to give you some ideas of what can be done with them. So let's get right into it. I was to the Share & Care thrift store. I wanted to try to find all of my things in here, and I didn't get videos of everything that I found. You know, of course, I browsed all the different sections, but managed to find enough items for this video. So let's take a look at some of the items that you always find in thrift stores. Lamps is one thing, which this is an extra cute lamp here with the florals, and I love chains like this. Always have a weakness for them. I don't care for the color here, so that will have to be changed, and then the shade also needs some help. Vintage books, something you can always pick up in thrift stores. Vintage fabrics. I'm always looking for pretty embroidered florals like this, or just, you know, floral fabric. I thought this has a pretty design. I think it's possibly a basket liner. And here is a bag of rags that we can use in the shop. I know it has nothing to do with my makeovers, but I did pick that up along with this stapler. These are pretty pricey when you buy them new, and this one was $5, really good price. Tin cans, shiny containers like this. I have plans to probably paint this and maybe put these cute little strawberry plants in it. I know we're not quite in that season, but I just thought it's so pretty, and it wasn't a bad price. This basket, I think I paid $1.10 for, and I might, you know, do something with the basket too then. And this pretty pie carrier is what it is, but I thought it would make a nice little picnic basket. Let's open it up here. So let's get right to it. I recently invested in a border punch, and I'll have this link down below in the description box. I got it off of Amazon in case you're looking for the same thing. But I thought, how neat would it be to use old book pages and create a placemat or a short, you know, table runner of sorts, and use this punch to create a vintage looking kind of lace border along the edge. So in case you're wondering why the poor lighting, I'll show you what it's doing on the outside today. It's quite the dreary, drab Ohio winter day. I guess we'll wait until the end of the video to take a look at all the final results, but since we're working with books anyway, let's bring out these 3. When I picked out these books, I wasn't going with what title they were. It was more for the size, and of course I wanted hardcover. I plan to start out by painting them. So the paint I'm using for this book is called Malted Milk. It's a very light pink color. I've talked about it before on here. Just a beautiful color, and being that we're in the Valentine's Day season, I thought it would be fitting. And the other 2 books will be painted white. I plan to add decor transfers to these books, probably just along the spine and kind of wrap it around the edges. I like how some books have like a tape binding, so I'm going to try to go for that look. Here I'm sorting through my transfers upstairs in my storage room. I'm going to go for, light pinks, floral. These transfers are so much fun. You can basically, create your own designs as you go. Like you can cut things out that you don't want and add something of another design. It's just endless what can be done with them. For the last book, I plan to use these H2O transfers. This is one where you use water to apply it. And I'm always a bit hesitant to do this. I'm not sure why, because nothing has ever happened with them, but it always seems to, you know, if you saturate something with water, like a painted surface, you know, could it remove your paint? But I'm going to try it. So my camera battery died as I was working on some of these decals, but I did apply a few more butterflies and a flower to this book. So tin cans, of course, is something you always find in thrift stores, and here I have 3 identical ones. I paid 25 cents each for them. I plan to turn them into a kind of vintage, shabby chic looking canister set. I have some redesigned molds here that I plan to use, and I got these from Patterson Art Studio. I've talked about them before on here. They have all kinds of decor transfers, you know, modeling clays, glues, anything along that line. So make sure to check them out if you're at all needing anything like that. Here I'm using this amazing casting resin to create my forms, and this is something that can be mixed together, and you just, you know, pour it into the mold, and literally in minutes it cures. So I love it because I'm an impatient person. I don't have to wait a long time, you know, for it to harden. As you can see, things spilled over the edge for me here, but you can see it's starting to set up. It's turning white. It's pretty amazing. Since it's windy and cold outside, I think I'll go ahead and paint these in the shop. And no one's working in here today, so it should be okay. Of course, when painting smooth surfaces like this, it's always best to apply it using numerous thin coats rather than trying to cover everything at once. And I really should have used a gray paint to start out with. That really helps to block any, you know, words or designs. But I think I'll be able to do it, you know, using the white paint. It just takes some patience. The reason I'm not removing the lids here is because they're so tight fitting, and I know if I were to apply a coat of paint in between the can and the lid, they would be even more so and probably kind of hard to remove, plus it would take all the paint off anyway. So I didn't get a video of this, but I ended up making other little forms for my canisters. I used modeling clay instead of the casting resin, and what happened is my casting resin turned really hard, and then when I wanted to bend it to kind of, you know, glue it along my can, it broke. So I decided to just use the modeling clay that is more flexible. Now I'm pretty sure if I would have glued the pieces on before the casting resin would have been, you know, completely hard, like this was days later, I think I would have been able to bend it, because I noticed when I removed it from the molds it was a little bit flexible. So next time I definitely act a little quicker, but I think this will work too. I ended up removing 2 more leaves from my little form here. I thought it was just a bit too long for the size of the canister. Of course, I used my Silhouette Cameo to cut out these words, and the vinyl I'm using here is the Oracle 631 vinyl. It's just a really nice vinyl to work with. It is removable, and yet it stays put. Just overall a high quality vinyl. And I'll try to link some down below in the description box of the exact one that we get. We get it from Amazon. Here I'm using a distressing technique that I call cheek distress. It's where I just use a Sharpie marker and kind of go over the edges, making them look like they're, worn down to the, the dark underneath, which we all know it's not the case here. But it definitely just, adds a bit of character, I think. Of course, thrift stores always have lamps for sale, and there are a few things you can do with a lamp, like turn it into something else entirely. But this one's really cute. It's going to stay a lamp, and the only thing I'm going to do is just work with the shade a bit. I like the color it is. It is that vintage white color, and I'm just going to add some lace onto it with my hot glue gun. And then that base part I had mentioned before, I'm not really liking the color of. I'm not quite sure at this point. I'll probably do the shade first, kind of, eyeball it. See what color it needs to be. I think this pearl lace would also look great along the bottom. Going to add that. So I want to try to paint the bottom part of this lamp close to the same color as the shade. I think that would look good. And I have a color here, it's called Chiffon Cream, and it is Rust-Oleum brand. It's their chalk line. It's just a nice creamy, off-white color. Here I want to cover the rest of the lamp so my overspray doesn't touch it, and I'm using masking tape paper. I'm going to use some plastic wrap. I've already learned that's a good way to cover something. I'll just kind of scrunch it together. I'm going to try to spray paint on the front porch. It is really windy today. I'm sure it'll be a challenge, but I'm going to try it. I don't have a lot to paint here, so I should be good. Shiny tin planters is another thing you often see in thrift stores. I feel like all this needs is just some flat paint. So we can't let that original basket where those strawberries were in, we can't let that go to waste. So I think what I'll do is try to turn it into one of those moss baskets. I'm going to glue different types of moss on here and maybe create a little bird's nest with some eggs and possibly even a bird. We'll see. So originally I used the moss that was in here, that brown stuff, to make a nest. But then I found this old nest that I made out of dried grass. I thought this would look better. For a basket like this, I like to see them painted white and have some of the original color showing through, maybe on some of the edges. And yep, you guessed it, I'll probably put a Decor transfer on the lid part. The paint I'm using here is my usual Do It Best brand paint. It has a satin sheen and the color is bright white. Here I'm sanding the basket, bringing some of that dark out that is underneath, and I also plan to sand over the transfers, kind of like that look too, and then I'll apply Annie Sloan clear wax over the whole basket. And I think the finishing touch here would be a glass knob on the lid, so I'm probably going to add that. These projects were so much fun to work on. Hopefully it was inspiring to you, and maybe next time you go into a thrift store, you'll look at things differently. And I know there's so much more that could be done with the items that I got, and I'm sure you guys would have some really good ideas too. Feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. It's always interesting to me to read over those. And before ending here, yep, you guessed it, I have some new products I want to show you, and you're going to see a lot of this. We do have some fun new ideas we want to incorporate into our business this year, so more on that later. But what I have here isn't entirely new. It's soap and candles, as you can see. I'm really excited about this soap line. My cousin Susie and I have been working on a completely natural line of soap. So 4 of the scents here are the same that I had done for the Maine inspired soap video. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple years ago, I think it was fall of 2022, we had taken a hiking trip to Maine, and I was so inspired by some of the colors that I saw. I ended up making soap to kind of go with some of the colors and the things that I saw on that trip. But the 4 of the scents are going to be the same as that, and we're going to add an additional 5 different scents. So we will have a total of 9 scents if everything goes as planned. And again, super excited about it. These soaps are so natural, you can almost eat them, but you know, please don't. But everything, including the color and everything, is a natural ingredient. I just love that idea. At the point of filming here, I'm jumping just a little bit ahead of myself. This soap actually won't be listed on the Etsy shop today, but it should be by the end of the week. I'm still working on the labeling. I debated to just slap a label on like we normally do, but I really don't want to mess it up. This is a pretty amazing soap, and I just need a few more days to work on it. So if you're interested in this soap, hopefully by the end of the week it should be listed on the Etsy shop. And we will be stocked on some more of just the regular soap. We do have this oats and honey. This is also a completely natural soap. We've had this for years now. So in last week's video, I had given you a brief glimpse of some of the Valentine's Day soap that I'm working on, so make sure to check that out. I have a couples soap here. I'm going to package these together, and this scent, in case you're familiar with some of our scents, is the Waterfall. We've had that before, and this is Baby's Breath. I mean, both smell amazing. I like to smell them together. Like if I smell them at the same time, it just goes so well together. And the Baby's Breath is very pale pink with some white swirls in it. And then of course the black and white for the Waterfall. And I have some additional soaps that are fitting to Valentine's Day. I'll put some pictures on the screen for you. Don't have everything up here with me. And then candle wise, it smells so good in this corner right now. I'm smelling of course the soap, and then strawberries and cream. I'm again thinking Valentine's Day, so I went through all of my cups and picked out some that are fitting for Valentine's Day, and a lot of these cups are sent to me by you guys, so thank you for that. And some I pick up on my own. This clear pink one here I found in the antique mall. I have 4 of these. This is really pretty. And there's other really pretty ones. Some will have the saucers included, but I think they're all so pretty. I kind of like to see them all together here. And we still have some of the pink and red votive candles for Valentine's Day. Those are also really great smelling. And we'll try to get these products shipped to you as soon as possible. Things are a bit different around here right now. MB is on her honeymoon, which I'm so happy for him, but we're kind of left without her. But we have been doing some packaging. John and I have done some, and then Marlene and my other niece Emily offered to help out too if we need it. So hopefully we'll survive. So as always, I hope your day is going great. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.